paper, at least, little progress has been made. We'll talk about historical overview of the unification in both countries and what happened after that. The unification of the Yemen Arab Republic and the People's Democratic Republic of Yemen on the 22nd May 1990 established the Republic of Yemen. The former president of the North became the president of the newly established country, and the former president of the South became his deputy. For the first time, the geography knows Yemen was under common rule. The challenges brought about by this evident clash of culture were the enormous and, as it turned out, proved the unmanageable. The influence of the Northern culture, political, social, soon took the Northern culture soon took hold and separated to the southern parts of the country because of that fact. An influx of people from the north, where the population was close to estimated to 12 million, to the south population of 3 million, meant that northern culture was dominating the new landscape. Tension between the northern and the southern land leaders began to surface and soon escalated to a number of southern political figures being targeted for assassination and assassinations attempts. The southern political leadership began to feel unsafe about the remaining in the capital Sana'a, the capital of the north and the former capital of the capital of Yemen and the former capital of the north. In 1993, the Vice President Ali Salim Al-Bid returned to Aden, former capital of the south, in protest against the action of the northern political elite who were accused of being behind the assassination and the assassination attempts. A number of attempts to resolve the crisis failed, and on the 21st of May 1994, Mr. Al-Bid declared the breakaway of South and the re-establishment of the independent southern state as the Democratic Republic of Yemen. The following day, northern troops, supported by their northern tribes, conservatives, Islamic groups, and supporters of disposed former South President Ali Nasser Mohammed, began a military assault on the south. The United Nations Security Council passed the resolution 924 and 932, in which it called for an immediate ceasefire. Neither managed to have the northern attack, which ended on the 7th of July 1994, with the north assuming complete control of the south. The south effectively became colonized by the north. The unification of the two states did not succeed in a foreign national bond between the people. On the contrary, it exposed and deepened their division. It was clear that the people did not form true nation with any shared social or cultural ties. In 2007, Southern Peaceful Movement was formed largely and organized to begin with. It soon developed into a number of small groups and then became a mass protest rallies against what became widely regarded as the occupying forces of the North. Hundreds were killed during the peaceful rallies and thousands were injured. A campaign of mass arrests and detentions of activists, protesters was carried out, and torture detainees was widespread. Today, we confirm again that the national demands of our people in the south have moved to a new phase after the forces of the Yemeni army that are under control of Ali Abdullah Saleh and Houthis militia carried out their second total war on the south using light and heavy weapons. This started in February 2015. The people in the south did not have a choice but to start armed resistance to defend themselves. The invasion led to killing and injuring of a large people that we have not yet been able to quantify because it's still outgoing in some pockets of in the south. And it has caused the displacement of the half of the population of the south. The people in a lot of cities were under crippling siege, deadly and continuous deprivation, the most basic needs: electricity, water, food, medicine, and fuel and safety. We do not see in the future any security or stability under the Yemeni occupation of our country. Our people resist this occupation basically since the end of the first war in 1994, the escalation of the great peaceful movement in July 7, 2007, and gave their lives and result for precision on the Yemeni occupation, and its reaction to the peaceful movement of our Southern people. Since the first moment of the second Yemeni invasion, the noble Southern resistance has been fighting these occupiers who burned and destroyed cities and villages in the south. There have been and still are thousands of martyrs and people injured. And why we call our self-determination unique, and we claim it's unique in many ways. Firstly, the South has until 1990 been an independent state, recognized member of the United Nations. Secondly, contrary Northern claims, there is no historical significance to the relation between the South and the North that would prevent the counting existence of two states in the region. Thirdly, the South has defined the territory which until 1999 was recognized by the international law as a territory, the independent Southern state. Fourthly, the occupation of the South following the 1994 war was effectively ended the unity, and South has become effectively under occupation. Finally, our people in the South Yemen confirm today their insistence to participate in their right for self-determination and liberation. The events have also proven that impossibility of counting unification between two countries. Anything forced upon our people will be the main obstacle in the face of the security of the region, stability also, and the development. Establishing two states in Yemen, state of the South and state of the North, it's a way to give Southerns chance to feel their will has been achieved. This will claim the people and allow for the building of mutual interest instead of war of hatred and conflict. Thank you.
I give the floor now to Mr. Timu Gandhi, yes, from Tamil Nadu.
Thank you. The Tamil Elam struggle is not something born out of discrimination alone. Before colonization of British, Tamils and Sinhalese lived as two separate nations, and British made them into one country for their comfort of their colonial purposes. And post-independence, the Sri Lankan government, the constitution formation, has been largely centered on the ruling elite who were pro-colonial rulers. This resulted in discriminating Tamils from all part of political, social and cultural and economical developmental areas. And thus started the demand for a separate nation for Elam Tamils. And the Elam Tamil people democratically demanded their right to have their own nation from the colonial design. And for nearly 30 years, they've participated in a more peaceful protest and in a democratic means to have their rights to be ensured. In 70s, the Sri Lankan government started using military and police force to suppress the nationalist aspirations of the Tamil people. And their constitution, Sri Lankan constitution, is unitary in nature, and it largely centered on to protect the Sinhalese cultural, cultural, political, and economical rights alone. But it clearly distinguishes, that it clearly indicates that Tamils are the secondary citizens. They are not the kind of citizens of the Sri Lanka. And this has given the Tamils to have the strength to fight for their nation, because they have been discriminated across the developmental or cultural or linguistical areas, wherever it is. And in 1976, the Tamil Elam people have come together and through a democratic voting process, they declared that they want to have their own nation carved out of Sri Lanka. So they didn't want to have their rights tied along with the Sri Lankan constitution, where they didn't have any kind of rights. So then, 1976 onwards, that's called Vattukotte Resolution. It's a kind of a referendum, we could call it as. It's roughly around 99% of the Tamils voted in favor of a separate nation. And the armed conflict started in the consecutive years. India played a very critical role in converting the low-level conflict into a fully militarized conflict. And not only that, the international forces also played a very crucial role in strengthening and training and giving all kinds of support to the Sri Lankan regime. And the genocide, the structural genocidal format, which has been continuing post 2009, the killing of Tamil Elam people started through a military means from 1970 onwards. In 2009, the war on Elam Tamil resulted in killing of 146,000 Tamil people in a matter of 8 months' time. So Elam Tamil people lost life for about 146,000 people in a matter of 8 months' time. And we would like to indicate the brutality of the war. The western district in Sri Lanka, the Tamil Elam, is called Mannar. Before the war, the population of that district is roughly about 32,800 odd. And after 8 months' time, the population of the same district is hardly 480 people. So that is such a kind of brutal war is being conducted against the Tamil people. And in a matter of 8 months' time, 146,000 people being eliminated. And even UN panel, they formed a committee on it. YSL report indicated that 40,000 people been missing in the final days of the war. As my comrade indicated, that UN very well collaborated with the Sri Lankan regime, and that has been clearly brought out by a report by the UN internal review report headed by Mr. Petri. Petri report clearly documents how the UN system worked along with Sri Lankan government to